Today, my big question is, how well do you know the people you game with? Do you really know what they like? I propose that you don't, or at least I don't. Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder when I head out for a walk and deliver an episode to you as I stroll around. I'm Brendan Riley. Good morning, listeners. I hope that you're having a pleasant day. It's 7:30 in the morning on a beautiful July 30th, and I'm realizing I forgot to put the trash out. Garbage trucks don't usually come till after 8, so I should be able to do it when I get back home, but yowzer. Also, somebody mentioned to me that this is a thing, but boy, I have some neighbors' cats, I have some neighbors' bushes that smell an awful lot like cat pee. Weird. Anyhow, good morning. Ooh, it is a great day. So I want to talk today about how well do you know the people you game with? And I don't mean on a deep personal level, like, do you know their deep inner secrets or all of that? I mean, do you really know what they like or not? I have a variety of people I game with regularly, and I'm always trying to gauge what kinds of things they like or don't like. My design partner Rob is a bit of a mystery to me because, like me, he's an omni gamer, so he'll play anything. And often when push comes to shove and he's given the opportunity to play a game, I never know what kind of game he's going to bring out. I will say it seems to me like he leans a little bit more away from the very heavy games, but he always enjoys, or he says he enjoys, the ones we play. And I think his biggest complaint probably would be that I always want to try a new thing, and so it's hard to get good at the big deep games if you only play them once. So I've been trying to be a little bit more active in bringing those out. In fact, I mean to get Tricarion out again, and Anachrony. Oh, geez, so many games to play. But I have to say, like, I don't know that I know his taste as well as I'd like to. But there's other people too. My daughter, she is an omni gamer. She likes every game. And I don't mean that hyperbolically. I mean, there are games that she won't want to play as much, like when her brother really likes Telestrations. When he suggests that, she'll sometimes go, nah. Like she has games that she doesn't like as much. But whenever we try a new game, ooh, I like that, she says. So I've probably built into her the same desire for new experiences in gaming that I have myself, or she inherited it, or whatever. She's her own person. But the interest in new games, in different games, doesn't fall far from the tree, I think. So it sort of begs the question, what games does she really like? And I think she leans toward the heavier games, that when given her druthers, that's what she'll play. Maybe next time we have the chance, I'll say, Avery, what do you want to play? And let her pick. And we'll see where she goes with that. But the lead subject of this discussion, and the reason I bring the topic up, because it just boggled my mind and I wanted to think about it, was playing a game this weekend. We played Sagrada. Now, Sagrada is a game I'd played once before, and I thought it was fun. It's a neat little puzzler. Interesting choices, good screw your neighbor dice drafting without feeling too much like you're doing that, although you totally can, because late in the game you can absolutely see which dice the other people can take, and you could just ruin them. There was one move in a couple games ago where I was the second to last person getting a die, and there were 3 options. There was like a yellow 2 and 2 blue 1s, and I took the yellow 2 so my daughter wouldn't have a choice. She was able to play the blue one, and but it was still funny. We all kind of laughed. And yeah, in general, when I'm playing a game, I won't usually take that last thing someone else can play, unless it's really the only thing I can play too. But if both people can get something, I'd rather have that other person feel a little better about their game. Yeah, that makes me not cutthroat enough, I'm sure. So anyway, when I played Sagrada, not sure why, but I didn't think my wife would like it. I guess I had in my head that she likes theme, and she does, and that it was too much of like a puzzle game for her. But so a buddy, we had a game day on Saturday. We played Pandemic Legacy Season 2. We won. We had lost 4 in a row, so we actually had to open the You Guys Stink packet, which, if you haven't played Pandemic Legacy at all, you know, I think I mentioned there's these packages you get to open, and there's what we call the You Stink packet, where if you lose 4 games in a row, that means 2 full months you've only lost. Then they have you open this thing that basically gives you a boost for the rest of the game, which we desperately needed. And then we were able to win one, which made us feel good. Anyhow, we played Pandemic Legacy Season 2. We did the Adventures of Oz unlock, which was really interesting and fun. We won it with 40 seconds to spare. Got 3 stars out of 5, so that felt pretty good. Because we did take a couple hints. And what was the other penalty that we missed? There were 2 penalties. I don't recall the other one. Maybe to get 5 stars, you can't have any wrong answers, and we had like 1 or 2 wrong answers that cost us time. Oh, there's the garbage truck. Hope I beat them to my house. And then the third game we played was Sagrada, which my friend brought over. Sagrada, for those of you who haven't played, is a game about building a stained glass window from Floodgate Games, a company who I really like, and I've gotten most of their other games, but when it came out, it didn't thrill me, the idea of it, so I didn't actually back it on Kickstarter. It was the first of theirs in a while I hadn't backed, although they've since done another one about the news that I wasn't as keen on. But I really like Epic Resort and Vault Wars from them. And, Legacy Gears of Time, which isn't a Legacy game. It just has the unfortunate coincidence of having the same name. But I was okay, backing up. So Sagrada is about building a stained glass window, and the way it works is you have a grid of 25 squares, and in that grid, or 20 squares, it's 4x5. And in that grid, you have some of the squares are just white, which means any die can be placed there. Some of them have a color. There's 6 colors, I think. Or 5. Yeah, there's 5 colors. And then there's, no, it must be 6. I'm forgetting my numbers. It's a 6x4 grid. That's what it is. It's a 6x4 grid. There's 6 colors. And then, of course, there's 6 numbers on the dice. And so, is that right? 5x5? I don't remember. Maybe there's 5 colors. There's purple, yellow, red, green, and blue. Okay, so there's 5 colors, 6 numbers. And it's a 4x5. It's a 20 square grid. Okay. So on your turn, so the way it works is the person who's starting a round. Oh, hold on, I'm approaching a different garbage. There's 2 garbage trucks running. Yikes. So the person who starts the round draws enough dice out of the bag so that 2 dice for every player and 1 extra die. So if in a 4-player game, you draw 9 dice out of the bag. And you roll those on the table. Then starting with the first player, each person takes a die and puts it in their grid. The rules for the grids are pretty simple. The only thing is you can't put 2 dice of the same color or 2 dice of the same number next to each other orthogonally. They can be diagonally adjacent, but not orthogonally. So it's a real puzzler, and toward the end of the game, it can get really tight. you can get turns where you aren't able to take any dice, and it's a bummer. There are these action cards as well where you get these little bonus things that you can use. It works pretty well. So it's a fun game, a nice puzzler, well worth a play. If you get a chance, I recommend. There's good reason it made a lot of people's top whatever lists this year. It's also pretty to look at. It's a nice looking game. I don't know how easy it would be to play if you're colorblind. The dice don't have any color, any symbolic differentiation that would make them easy to distinguish for people who couldn't tell the difference between the colors. So it might just be one of those games where, yeah, we have to give in to the fact that a colorblind person couldn't play this. I'm saying that without having checked to see maybe the hues of the colors they chose make it playable. I don't know. Anyhow, so that's Sagrada. My wife really liked it, and so that was interesting to me, and I thought about, yeah, she likes Barenpark, and there's a couple other games we have that feel to me like they're in the same space, as they have just a couple simple rules, a relatively complex gameplay experience, relatively short, under an hour for sure, sometimes under a half an hour. So, you know, I mean, my wife likes all sorts of games, but this becomes a kind of niche for me. But I don't know why I didn't think she would like Sagrada. But then, having played it with her and discovered that she did, I was like, all right, now I know a bit more about what kinds of games she likes, which is always good, because when I'm thinking about buying games, as I mentioned, one of the driving factors for me now is, am I going to get to play it with my family? And buying a game that I won't get to play with my family, it's a significantly higher hurdle if I'm not going to play it with my family, because I want to play games. And playing games with my family is one of the main ways I do that. So then the next day we played Kokoro, Avenue of the Kodama, which I had purchased while we were on our Newfoundland trip. And it was our first time trying it. And for those of you who haven't played it, it's a re-implementation of the game Avenue, which is a draw and write. You have a deck of cards, and you're drawing from the deck of cards, and you're getting a grid of you. Basically, you have a grid, and you're trying to draw lines that connect the different parts of the grid. And the card you draw gives you the shape you can draw on a particular box. So you're trying to decide when to draw the right shape, and you're pushing your luck a little bit on when do you think the next shape will come up and that sort of thing. Not very complicated, but interesting. Honestly, I thought in the exact same wheelhouse as Sagrada. But my wife really, I don't know that she didn't like it. She said she liked it, but the secondary signals she was giving off in terms of her enjoyment were much, much lower than Sagrada. At Sagrada, she was saying, oh, this is interesting and fun, and, you know, and Avenue, it was just silence and puzzling. We're going to have to play a couple more times before the judgment is in on that one, but it was not the immediate hit that Sagrada was. And I just am finding myself really boggled. And there's always the chance just that, you know, some games are a hit and some are not. Cosmic Encounter is a game that should work for me, but I do not like it. And I don't know why. So, you know, maybe that's just these... maybe I'm just, you know, learning more nuance, but it's also possible down to just taste. But it got me thinking a little bit about trying to figure out what kinds of games people will like and how do you do that? So I don't have an answer, obviously. We're just about out of time, but I'm curious about your thoughts. What do you do to determine when is someone going to like a game? What are the things that you expect most? Maybe of somebody you game with, what's a game that you thought they would like and then they didn't, or thought they wouldn't like and they really did? Either of those are interesting subjects to bring up. Where should you bring them up, you ask? I heard you asking. And that would be Board Game Geek Guild 3269, which is over on the website BoardGameGeek.com. If you haven't been there, you should check it out. Although if you're listening to this podcast, odds are you have been there. My username there is Wombat929. I hope you drop by and let us know what you think of the episode and what kinds of games have taken you by surprise, or more particularly, what kinds of games you thought someone else would like, but they didn't. Or vice versa, games you thought they wouldn't like, and they did. So any one of those would be just fine as a example for something to bring up on the podcast, on the guild. There are other ways you can reach out if you wanted to talk to me directly. Honestly, BoardGameGeek Guild message is going to be the most efficient way, but I have email, Brendan@RattleboxGames. I have Twitter, @RattleboxGames. Yeah, those are really the three best ways to reach out to me. So, let us know what you think of the episode, your response to that question, and thanks for joining me today. Well, I hope that your picking games for friends goes better than mine did, or as well. I don't know. I hope it goes well. And the next time that you walk, I hope that your walk is as pleasant as mine was. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.